When Halloween rolls around, it kicks off a busy and fun time of year. But it's also a time that can be dangerous if we aren't careful and aware. We sat down with Tristan Dressler, the safety administrator for the city of Las Vegas. He talked us through some important reminders on how to safely enjoy this holiday season, starting with trick-or-treating.
Unfortunately, every year there's a number of incidents involving pedestrian safety where children who are out trick-or-treating are struck by vehicles and are seriously injured, and unfortunately it's happened in the past where they've been killed in Las Vegas Valley.
One of the best ways to prevent that tragedy is to make sure the kids are visible to the drivers by not dressing in all dark colors and carrying a lantern or flashlight. Also, make sure the kids can also see everything surrounding them.
So we want to make sure that we avoid masks that can obscure vision. Preferably face paint is better than masks to avoid obscuring vision. Same thing with like wigs or any other kind of head coverings. Make sure they stay away from the face and peripheral vision so the kids can see what's going on around them.
Finally, while it might be tempting to dive into that candy while trick-or-treating, wait until your ghosts and goblins are home and it is thoroughly checked. The next big holiday is Thanksgiving, and what you are seeing is a very common disaster our firefighters and paramedics run into on this day every year. Cooking fires are common year-round, but kitchen fires increase 300% on Thanksgiving.
One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're frying turkeys is they'll not properly thaw the turkey, not make sure that it's, completely thawed and a lot of the water is removed from the burn. Water, when it comes into contact with heat, expands into steam, and it expands to 1,200 times its original volume. So that happens almost instantaneously. So when you take a frozen turkey, put it in oil, you're going to have a massive reaction.
Moving on to Christmas, one hazard is in the preparation for the holiday.
In the occupational setting, falls from height are one of the leading killers in the construction industry. The same concept applies to homeowners who are going to hang Christmas lights, right? Anytime you get up on a ladder, you work from your roof, there's potential to fall to a lower level, and that can cause serious injuries or even kill you.
Tristan says it's best to never tackle the job alone. Make sure someone is there to spot you and be there should you fall. We are all familiar with this video shown to us by fire departments every year. Real trees, if not properly selected and then cared for, can be a disaster waiting to happen.
First of all, make sure that it's not dried out already because they're really hard to rehydrate. So if you're picking out a real tree, make sure it doesn't have a lot of loose needles, it doesn't feel like it's dry or brittle. Bring it home, cut off the bottom 2 inches so that water can get into the base of the tree, and make sure that it's watered regularly, at least twice a day. Artificial trees are generally safer because they're designed to be safer. They have flame-resistant components to them so that they won't catch on fire as easily as a real tree, especially when real trees are allowed to dry out.
And let's not forget holiday parties. Driving impaired from a party puts you and all those around you in danger. These days, there's no excuse for driving under the influence with all the ride-sharing options. And keep in mind, you don't even have to be impaired to need a ride.
Studies have shown that fatigue driving can create the same level of impairment in terms of reduced reaction time, reduced situational awareness as impaired driving with drugs and alcohol. So it's important to make sure that you're well rested before you get behind the wheel.
Tristan isn't trying to take the fun out of the holidays, just the opposite. These safety steps can ensure your holiday season is one to remember for all the good reasons. Nancy Byrne here. I hope you enjoyed that story. For more great stories about the city of Las Vegas, don't forget to click on that box.